All right, so now we are going to be talking about the future of training, consulting, coaching. And of course, you probably have seen a lot of the stuff related to the project that we're working on, the Wisdom City Metaverse, part of the Global Mentor Exchange, where we're essentially connecting the real problems that HR and organizations have with the coaches, trainers, and consultants that can solve those problems. And I have here the man behind the scenes. Okay, who is this guy? He is Lawrence Wong. Okay, well, first of all, he has been working on the AI for a little over 2 years. And so he's been behind the scenes doing all of the project management and everything with this process. But, okay, he's the guy that has the technical expertise in how this is all going to work. How your AI is going, or our AI is going to be able to generate different scenarios that human beings, real people like us, okay, can interact with in order to solve, to figure out stuff and basically be trained through trial and error or find root causes or basically gamify the stuff. So Lawrence, okay, give us a little bit of an idea of, because a lot of the people right now, they're looking at the Chat GPT, right? You guys are looking at Chat GPT. So, and we are using and have been using for the past few years the GPT engine. So can you just give us a little bit of an idea of what the difference is between Chat GPT and our AI?
So you guys may have heard of ChatGPT since it came out in November last year, and ChatGPT was designed for chats, and you talk to it, you have to type it, and it gives you a response. So the main core model of ChatGPT is the GPT. GPT stands for pre-trained generative transformers. Okay, transformer is a special kind of language model. So we've been using this for almost 2 years now. We started it with the GPT-3, and they upgraded to 3.5 for the ChatGPT. And so the responses to ChatGPT has been great. People like it because it was responsive, it was natural. You could ask it and you could, get informed. The difference is that with GPT-3, where the core, we actually program it. We can actually program the AI to learn extra things, to have a personality of sorts. So we can say to them like, well, talk to me in a particular accent, maybe southern accent, howdy folks. Or we can do it like in Singapore, so like, walao this is great, and
okay
lah, and yeah, so we can add personality to it on top of the information. We can also give it specific information. We can train it up on a topic. So if the consultant has written several books,
anybody. You can actually get the GPT, the AI, to go ahead and discover your own colored brain based on our colored brain model. So you wouldn't even have to take the test. You just let the AI ask you some questions, and based on your answers, it'll ask you a few more questions, and it's even more efficient than the online test.
Right. And best of all, it's human-like. You can actually check to it. Now, the GPT that we're going to put in the Metaverse will be able to listen to you. Okay? If it's not too noisy, it will listen to you. In English for now, eventually it will be 36 other different languages, but right now English. And it will reply in English. Okay? Next future version, you can ask it in any language, Chinese or Malay. It will give it back to you in whatever language you want. So we connect this to an avatar. Okay, so what you see on the screen will be a likeness of a person, like Arthur here. Right, except, that's not a real one. This is the real one.
Will the real Arthur Carmazzi please stand up?
Yeah, and 20 of them stand up. So that AI itself, the avatar you see on the screen and you walk to it and talk to it, will eventually sound like him. Right now, we're not doing voice cloning, but we will. Of course, we need permission from people who we will clone onto the system. Once we clone the likeness, the face, and we clone the body, minus the certain areas.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that you have a much better body in the metaverse
Right.
if you are, getting your personal AI.
And this is very important. Don't choose the wrong model. Okay, so if you're a man, you should choose the male model. If you're a female, you choose the either model. Okay. So once we have that likeness, we add the face, we add the voice, and you can literally walk up to it and have a chat with it. Or it may come to you and you say, "Hey, how are you doing? What's new?" And then you can just talk about anything. And specifically, I'm having some problems at work, and things like, "Oh, what kind of problems?" So you get inquisitive. You ask you. So that's the difference between the GPT we're using in our Metaverse model and the ChatGPT. ChatGPT will just sit there like waiting for you to talk like a chatbot. So chatbots are, in the past, has been quite different, and most of the chatbots you find at some companies which on the website says chatbot, what you want to know about a product, and they're very terse. They will just tell you only things they want to sell you, and won't talk about anything else. If you need anything else, they say, please hold on, we'll tech support, we'll get back to you. 30 minutes later. Whereas a smart GPT one would basically have a connection with you, converse. It's like sometimes you call up somebody, a human online, you can have a conversation, and then, by the way, what other things can you have? An example would be like, if you call a phone company, it says, "Hi, I'm interested in buying a phone. I'm thinking of a Samsung or an Apple, which is better?" And then the system will reply in a way that it makes sense. Okay, what you're looking for, and there's the features and so forth.
So in other words, basically what you're looking at is, see, the AI within the Wisdom City Metaverse is not going to stand by and just let you talk to it. The AI actually has, first of all, an agenda that, depending on which AI, and that agenda would be to solve your people problems for you. So let's say, for example, that we have an Arthur Carmazzi AI. Now, this Arthur Carmazzi AI deals specifically with how to improve team performance, how to improve organizational cultures, how to develop leadership, etc. Now, in my particular avatar, okay, my AI would actually go ahead and maybe ask you questions. You may go into this metaverse and you say, "I need leadership training," okay? But the question is, do you really need leadership training, or is it possibly that you need something else? So the avatar would essentially ask you, "Well, what's your objective? What are you trying to achieve? Da 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 da." And ultimately, it's going to come up with the ideas of what your root cause is. And then it's going to create scenarios to help you discover the solutions to that root cause instead of just giving you something. But remember, it's not just the AI, because now we have the AI can generate other avatars. They can generate a room full of people, and those people will basically act in certain ways according to your problem. Now, how is that going to be? How would we enable individuals to be able to go into a room, okay, in the metaverse, okay, and be able to connect with and interact with these people and make it fun? So
yeah, sure. And we actually did a couple of experiments before, and it works quite well. So we had one case. We had an insurance person, and I told her, I said, "Look, why don't I build a system, the AI, to be a very difficult customer? Okay, easy customer is easy, right? So difficult customer. You want to sell something to the system, and you basically interview the AI, and get the AI, and the AI would only give you some information some of the time, or be very secretive about things. And your job is to basically open up that. And the AI's personality will be just like a human being. Sometimes difficult. So that trains the person on interviewing techniques. Okay, and you can actually test it, try it. If it doesn't work, try it again. Unlike real person, which is difficult, it can be a little bit unpredictable. So the AI can actually repeat that clearly and also give you scoring at the end. You did pretty good. You should have asked me the following questions this way, that sort of thing.
And here's the thing. In this situation, see, you actually have permission to fail. There are no consequences for failure, zero. That means because you're dealing with an AI who's not going to blame you, who's not going to give you a performance review. Well, they will, but not one that matters. And they're going to be in a situation where, okay, people will be able to to literally learn through trial and error. But, okay, let's say, for example, you have a Marshall Goldsmith AI that you're working with. And Marshall Goldsmith's AI would literally be able to go ahead and coach you based on the decisions you make, and then get you to try again, and then coach you some more, and then get you to try again. But depending on what the size of or the scope of the problem that you're trying to solve is.
Right, exactly. And the fact that the AI itself can respond to a polite request or a terse request or a very rude request. You can insult the AI. It doesn't matter. But it will be nice to you. It will manage.
Well, except for Jarvis.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, Jarvis is.
Yeah, because we've got Jarvis in there. So Jarvis is a robot AI. And he will curse at you. He will disrespect
yes.
you. He's going to tell you how it is, no matter in plain, blatant language. Right. Only if you want to talk to him and get like that kind of feedback, right? So he's not going to be nice to you. He doesn't care. So he's going to be that kind of person. But then, of course, there's the other AIs who are going to be polite and respectful.
Right.
Okay. So if you want to be disrespected, you can just talk to the robot.
Well, the Jarvis. Robot.
Yeah, the Jarvis robot.
Right, that's right. It might, well, apart from the fact that he's knowing you, he's actually testing you. He's want to see how far he can push you, and you can practice basically, patience.
And you can even just have fun. See how many insults you can get based on your performance.
Watch out, you'll insult back.
Yeah.
You have a big nose, or you have no nose. That sort of thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, based on the current climate in HR, how people are doing training, how people are solving problems, the elements of diversity and inclusion, what do you see as the ultimate advantage of the Wisdom City Metaverse?
Okay. So here's the thing. Most people are trying to develop Metaverse. They don't have a proper objective. And again, most Metaverse expect other human beings to be in the Metaverse. So the problem is, if you know about big metaverses out there, Decentraland and all that, the average number of human beings in the real metaverse is about 38 a day, 30 people. And the problem is it's so large, if you go in there, you don't see anybody. So it's pretty lonely. Whereas our metaverse is populated not just by real people, but also AI, clones of real people. So there'll be guides to help you, there'll be consultants you talk to, likeness of, and you can ask questions. So you'll be engaged. It's 24/7. One of the problems is consultants and trainers can be online 24/7. You can. But
sometimes they have to sleep.
Well, sometimes. Yeah, it's optional. But with AI, it's 24/7. Okay, so it's great if you want to ask somebody, something immediately on the spur of your mind. Oh, I forgot. I read your book and I didn't understand this portion. Can you tell me? And the AI will say, sure, I'll explain it. And you can also tell it, look, too difficult. We have a term in AI, it's called ELI5. ELI5 means explain like I'm 5 years old. So if you tell the system, look, this concept, can you break it down ELI5? And the system says, sure, and tell you to do it simple. In real life, we may not want to do this because you might feel embarrassed. I'm asking this world-class consultant something and I don't understand what he's talking about because the terminology is, above my head. And if I can look up dictionary, I got to Google it. Even if you Google some complex, it might not answers. It might not give you back a proper answer. You still have to read about it. Too much reading. And if the system can make it simpler for you, and it makes it easier to learn, makes it more fun to learn. Okay.
And speaking of fun, okay, so let's say, for example, we want to develop leadership. Okay, so we've created some mazes and situations where, and also the diversity factors. So let's look at the idea that you've got a team of 10 people, and your objective is to go through this maze.
Right.
Okay. Now. Okay. Some of these people are very diverse, including people with disabilities and everything else. Who are you going to choose and why to get through this maze? And how does that work?
Okay, so we have a couple of game scenarios we're testing out. So that's the game scenario that Arthur's talking about is about D&I, diversity inclusion. So we will have a couple of avatars, and they look like real people. And you never know, right? It might be a real person there. And basically you look at the person's background. There'll be a little sheet about the person, so-and-so name, how old, race, how many years of education, and how many maybe 2 years of work experience. Oh, and it might have tattoos on the arm, So the problem is people prejudge to say,
No, really?
That's yep.
It does happen.
It does happen, but and you cannot prejudge an AI avatar, and they do, right? So you wanna see what they choose, and you can interview. The guy will go, hey, by the way, we want to join me. We have a little task to do. Our job is to navigate this maze together, and then I pick you and you. Now they have a time limit, so they'll be looking at a guy with a wheelchair, and the guy with the what do you call one arm tattoos, and they say,
the girl with the pink hair.
Yeah, and then like, do I? And they can talk to them. You can say, and you get a feedback. And they say, okay, I pick this person, because I want to win. There's a time limit. 20 minutes to the maze. That's it. Little does he know, no one can finish the maze. But he doesn't know that. But it doesn't matter. He just picks a team, and off it goes to the races. And of course, in the middle, you got people that lag behind, and you got a couple of the avatars wouldn't listen to you, or make some suggestion, or be noisy, and then you say, I picked the wrong guy, or I'm getting frustrated. It's like imagine a sheepdog herding sheep, and the sheeps are going everywhere, and you're like, hey, you, back on the path, that sort of thing. So and what we do is the objective of the game isn't about winning. The person doesn't know that. The objective of the game is how do you handle your team? How do you manage your team? Difficult team, some guys will be easy. Yeah, just go there and you listen. But majority, not really. They have no idea. They want to do this, they want to do that. So how do you motivate them? How do you listen to their problems? Maybe listen to suggestion. Maybe they have a good suggestion. Maybe they actually know the way and you don't.
And so what happens here is that this scenario can be used for two different things. It can be used for hiring practices. I mean, you want to hire somebody that's got the right attitude towards diversity and inclusion, for example. But it can also be used in a scenario where the AI bot that is with you along the way, you can actually access your little drone AI that's with you to give you suggestions and tell you what's going on, so that you will, based on the decisions that you're making, that AI can actually give you suggestions on, like, well, maybe this is happening because of this. Have you ever thought about that? And, okay, so what would you try next? And then you make another decision, and it's going to help you to actually achieve the desired results, but you still have to make the decision. So it's a trial and error, which, according to pretty much every study, is the absolute way to ingrain long-term learning, so that it's part of who you are, it's part of your attitude, rather than it's information.
Okay, you might think about that's a game. Think carefully. If you have you ever been to an interview, and the HR is asking you questions, right? So there's a little clipboard. Are you able to lead the team? Yes. Can you manage people? Yes. Are you and everything's a yes, and then they'll ask you one simple question. What are the weak points that you have? You want to share with us? And of course you say, no, I don't have any weak points. or everything is yes. See, because I will tell you, I'm a great leader. I can manage. I'm not, I don't have any bias. I'm a good communicator. But see, all that, when you're playing a game, you forget all that. And this is where the game will shine, because the objective was given to win the maze in the shortest time, but the real objective is to find out if what you said about I'm a leader, I'm a communicator, I have no weak point. Yeah, now we know the weak points. The truth comes out.
And so, okay, we don't want to make this too long because people might get a little bit bored. So let's tie it up. Okay, what would be let's say, for example, you're a coach, trainer, consultant.
Right.
All right. How is this going to transform your career?
Okay, so the problem here is that coaches and trainers takes time to well, okay, first you have the issue of time. Okay, how much time you get together, and also sometimes you need to work with sometimes difficult clients or difficult interviews. So you want to have a tool that's very available to make it your work easier, quick, and not only that, you have in control. Right? You can, for a consultant now, you can put your material online. If you put it online on a page, okay, so most consultants write a book. They write 20 books. So if somebody want to know, read my 20 books. Yeah, sure, next week. Or it's on my web page. Then you gotta scroll through it like, okay, read more books. So the idea is in the AI and the metaverse makes it easier for you to approach the consultant or the trainer and ask him directly. Point direct question, get the point direct answer immediately and say, maybe I should read that book. Yeah, go to chapter 37. The spot on is exactly what you need. See? And that will save you a lot of time and still make you smart.
Plus, you could even give a 10-minute scenario of how they would essentially learn using your methodology, your ideas,
Right.
that they could try it out for free, that would give them the an understanding of how you actually do things in the real world, and then be able to hire you to come and actually consult or coach or do training for the company live.
Right. And in the metaverse, this is where the aha moment comes in. The light bulb in your head going, aha, now I get it.
Because sometimes, I mean, when people are hiring trainers or something, they don't know exactly what they're getting. They get all the reviews and maybe the trainer's got a good reputation, but then they actually go to the class and it's not what they expected.
Yeah, I'd be,
Yeah, never know, right?
Never
So
know.
anyway, if you have any questions or you'd like to ask anything about the AI, about the metaverse, even about Chat GPT, any of this stuff that intrigues you, please go ahead and write a question in the comments below, and we will be getting back to you, and we will be answering all of these questions. So, any last comments?
Okay, so we're going to do some tests very soon. As we develop our systems, we will run a couple of beta tests, and so we will try out bits and pieces of our AI before we plug it into the avatars itself. So, write in, be on the waiting list.
Yeah, if you want to be in the beta test and
Yes,
try it out,
sure.
tell us you're interested.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Arthur Carmazzi and say your
Lawrence.
name. Oh, there
Lawrence
you go. Okay.
Wong.
There you go. Okay, bye.
I'm the real Lawrence Wong.
Wong.